Hello Year 10, this week's work is on proportion. So we're going to start by looking at a recipe question. So this gives you a list of ingredients for making 12 small cakes. Joe is going to make 24 of the small cakes, so we need to work out how much margarine he needs. Hopefully you'll recognise that 24 is 12 times 2. So all we need to do for the first question is to double the amount of margarine in the original recipe, because 12 times 2 is 24. So we multiply 180 grams by 2, which is 360 grams. Question B, Sharon is going to make 18 of the small cakes. Work out how much flour she needs. So the original is 12 cakes and we need 18. So if we look at these two numbers, 12 and 18, we want to find the highest common factor, or indeed a common factor, of 12 and 18. So a number that goes into both 12 and 18. So I know that 6 goes into 12. 12 divided by 2 is 6. Okay, and I also know that 18 divided by 3 is 6. So I know that 6 goes into both 12 and 18. So I'm going to work out how much ingredients are needed for 6 cakes by dividing by 2. So half of 200 grams of plain flour is 100 grams. So 6 cakes is 100 grams. And then I need to multiply that by 3 to get 18 cakes. And that gives me 300 grams of flour. Okay, similar question. This time we're given a list of ingredients for 30 biscuits. And it tells us that Fred wants to make 45 biscuits. So, like I did before, I want to think about what number goes into both 30 and 45. I want a factor of 30 and 45. So I know that 15 goes into 30 and 45. So I'm going to work out how much is needed for 15 biscuits and then multiply by 3, because 15 times 3 is 45. So the highest common factor of 30 and 45 is 15, as we've said. And we know that 30 divided by 2 is 15. So if I halve each of the ingredients, that tells me how much I need for 15 biscuits. I then need to multiply by 3 to work out how much I need for 45 biscuits. So I'm halving the ingredients to find the amount for 15 and then multiplying by 3 to find how much for 45. Okay, so I'm going to do that for each ingredient. Divide by 2 and then multiply by 3. So the first one, 230 grams divided by 2 is 150, multiplied by 3, 345. And I'm going to do that for each of the ingredients. Okay, and then I can fill in my answers on here. Okay, so I'm just going to flick back for a sec, so we have the second part of the question to do. So just to recap, I found the highest common factor. To be honest, you could use any factor. You could find, for example, how if you didn't know 15 went into both, you could work out 5 biscuits by dividing this by 6 and then multiplying by 9 to give you 45 biscuits. So long as you choose a common factor and work out how much ingredients is needed for that particular number and then multiply correctly for 45, that would give you exactly the same answers. So, part B, Jill has 1 kilogram of self-raising flour and she has plenty of other ingredients. Work out the maximum number of biscuits that Jill could bake. So 1 kilogram is equal to 1,000 grams. Okay, so obviously you do need to know that to start off with this question. So I would say, well, how many 230 grams, which is how much we need for 30, fits into 1,000 grams? And that gives me an answer, a big long decimal answer, but which I've rounded to 4.3. Okay, so that's suggesting that with 1,000 grams of flour, I can make 4.3 times 30 biscuits. So I'm going to multiply that. Again, it gives me a decimal answer, but which would round to 130 biscuits. Okay, last thing we're going to look at now is a couple of questions on proportion. Okay. So it's a classic kind of riddle that sometimes, and some of you may have seen in school questions like this before. If 4 monkeys can eat 16 bananas in 1 minute, how many bananas can 6 monkeys eat in a minute? How about 10 monkeys? and how long would it take 16 monkeys to eat 16 bananas? So let's look at this systematically. So if 4 monkeys can eat 16 bananas in 1 minute, we're going to put that into a table. 4 monkeys, 16 bananas, 1 minute. So what I think I would do next to be able to work out other amounts is to work out how many bananas 1 monkey can eat in 1 minute. So 1 monkey in 1 minute, okay, is going to be able to eat a quarter of 16, okay? We're going to divide this 16 by 4. 4 monkeys, that's 16 bananas. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 16 divided by 4 tells us 1 monkey can eat 4 bananas in 1 minute, okay? So the next question asks how many can 6 monkeys eat. So if 1 can eat 4 bananas, 6 will eat 6 times 4 bananas, which is 24. And then we do 10 monkeys. 1 can eat 4, so 10 can eat 10 times 4, which is 40 bananas. The last question asks us how long would it take 16 monkeys to eat 16 bananas. So I've got 16 monkeys, 16 bananas. Okay, so I've got 4 times as many monkeys than I had to start with here. The same number of bananas, but 4 times as many monkeys. So they're going to take a quarter of the amount of time. The common mistake is to think, oh, we'll multiply by 4, but actually we're going to divide the time by 4, because 4 times as many monkeys will take 4 times less the amount of time, theoretically anyway. So we're going to do 1 minute divided by 4, which is a quarter of a minute, or 15 seconds, because there's 60 seconds in a minute. Divide that by 4 is 15 seconds. So notice the crucial thing I did here is the second step. I was told how many monkeys took so many bananas 1 minute, and I worked it out for 1. Okay, and then I was able to multiply to work out for 6 monkeys, 10 monkeys, and so on. So let's look at questions similar to the ones that you'll be answering. Mira is a machinist in a shoe factory, and she works at a pace of 8 shoes every 20 minutes. How long would it take her to stitch 20 shoes? Okay, so a bit like in the previous recipe questions, we look for a common factor of 8 and 20. So if she can sew 8 shoes in 20 minutes, 2 shoes, 2 goes into 8 and into 20, it's going to take her 5 minutes, because 8 divided by 4 is 2, 20 minutes divided by 4 is 5 minutes. And then we can multiply by 10 to work out how long it would take her to stitch 20 shoes. So I started with a common factor of 20 and 8. 2 goes into both 8 and 20. So I worked out the time taken for 2 shoes and then multiplied by 10 to work out for 20 shoes. I could also have done it with just 1 shoe. So I could have gone right back to 1. 1 shoe is going to be 20 minutes divided by 8, which will give me 2.5 minutes. Multiply this by 20, and again I get the same answer. And in fact, I could have used 4 shoes, because 4 goes into 20 and into 8. So you're looking for a common factor of these 2 numbers. So second question, how many shoes can she stitch in an 8-hour shift? So I'm going to think about what 8 hours is in minutes to begin with. So I know that there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. So she's going to be working for 8 lots of 60 minutes. Okay, so if I'm working for 60 minutes, there are 3 lots of 20 minutes in 1 hour. So 8 shoes takes 20 minutes. I'm going to multiply by 3 for 1 hour, 60 minutes, because 20 times 3 is 60. So she's going to do 3 times as many shoes, 24 shoes in 60 minutes. And then to work out 8 hours, 8 lots of 60 minutes, I'm going to multiply by 8, which gives me 192 shoes. Okay, so you have a Maths Watch task to complete now on this. Feel free, obviously, make sure you watch the Maths Watch video as well to help you. But the key thing is to find a common factor of the amount that you're given and the amount that you're trying to find. And as always, if you do need any help with this, please contact your maths teacher. Thanks for watching.